Welcome to Unit 1. This lecture is your foundation for working with AI in nursing practice, from understanding what these tools actually are to using them safely and in compliance with HIPAA. By the end, you'll have the vocabulary and judgment you need to complete this unit's assignment on prompt engineering and PHI protection. Here's what we'll cover in 4 parts. The foundations of AI, how AI shows up inside the EHR, how to handle data and privacy safely, and finally, how all of this connects to your assignment. If you're viewing this in PowerPoint, you can click any item here to jump straight to that section, or just follow along in order. Let's start with vocabulary. Artificial intelligence is the broad umbrella, any system that performs tasks we associate with human intelligence. Machine learning is a subset of that. Instead of following rules a programmer wrote, it learns patterns from historical data. Deep learning goes a step further, using layered neural networks that are especially good at messy, unstructured data like free text or images. You don't need to know the math, you just need to recognize which of these 3 you're looking at, because it tells you what the tool can and can't do. Here's why this matters for you specifically. A drug interaction pop-up is rule-based, AI. A fall risk score is a predictive model. A dictation tool is natural language processing. You're already working with all 3 concepts, whether or not anyone's named them for you. This course just gives you the language to describe what's happening. AI shows up in nursing and healthcare in a handful of recurring forms: clinical decision support, predictive risk scoring, natural language processing, AI-assisted diagnostics, remote patient monitoring, and generative AI. We'll go through each of these in more depth over the next few slides. Let's pause for a quick check. Take a moment to think through this question before moving on. Then click to reveal the answer. The answer is B, natural language processing. Dictation tools work by extracting meaning from speech or text. That's the core job of NLP. Rule-based CDSS runs on explicit if-then logic, and remote monitoring is about continuous data collection, not language. If you got this one, you're tracking the distinctions well so far. Clinical decision support systems come in 2 broad flavors. Rule-based CDSS fires on explicit logic. If drug A and drug B are both prescribed, flag it. It's predictable and easy to audit. ML-based CDSS is more dynamic. It calculates a score from many inputs at once, like a sepsis alert that updates in real time. Either way, watch for alert fatigue. When a system fires too often, clinicians start tuning it out. A fired alert is a prompt for your judgment, not a diagnosis. Predictive models estimate the probability of a future event, sepsis, a fall, a 30-day readmission, based on patterns learned from historical data like vitals, labs, and demographics. 2 things to hold on to. A risk score is a probability, not a certainty. And because these models learn from history, they can reproduce the same disparities that existed in that history. That's exactly why clinical judgment stays central, no matter how sophisticated the model. Natural language processing shows up in 3 common forms in the EHR. Ambient documentation that turns spoken conversation into a note, coding and billing tools that scan documentation for suggested codes, and surveillance tools that scan notes for concerning language. It's worth remembering that NLP isn't understanding language the way you do. It's recognizing learned patterns, which is why a human still needs to read the note directly for anything that really matters. AI-assisted diagnostics use deep learning to flag things like a suspicious mammogram or a skin lesion for follow-up, always as a second reader, not a final diagnosis. Remote patient monitoring extends this outside the hospital. Wearables and home devices feed vitals and glucose data back into the system, often running through the same kind of predictive models to catch a patient trending toward decompensation before their next visit. This is where prompt engineering becomes a compliance skill. Generative AI produces new content, drafts summaries, instead of scoring and classifying. Before anything goes into an LLM, remove or replace PHI. Use only your organization's approved tools and verify every response before you rely on it. On the other side, never enter patient identifiers into a public AI tool. Upload charts or screenshots to unapproved systems, or treat AI output as final without checking it yourself. It helps to picture the path your data takes. It's charted into the EHR during routine care. Then for AI-supported features, it's often sent to a vendor's cloud platform, where the model runs and returns a result back into the chart. Historical training data is de-identified first, but a live patient's real-time data is identifiable PHI while it's in transit, which is exactly why that data sharing relationship is governed by a business associate agreement under HIPAA. You'll hear three related terms across health systems. Descriptive analytics answers what happened. Dashboards and reports on past events. Predictive analytic answers what likely to happen. The risk scores we've already covered. And research analytics uses aggregated, often de-identified data to inform broader practice changes. Knowing which one you're looking at helps you describe a tool precisely. One more quick check before we wrap up this section. Think it through, then reveal the answer. Before entering clinical information into an AI tool, what's the first thing you should do? Nothing, just paste it in. Remove or replace all PHI. Ask the AI to keep it confidential. The answer is B. Remove or replace all PHI first. An AI tool has no confidentiality obligation on its own. That protection comes from your organization's approved HIPAA-covered systems and agreements. De-identifying data before it goes in is on you every single time. Every tool we've covered today is decision support, not decision making. Two failure modes are worth naming: alert fatigue, where frequent alerts cause you to disengage even from the ones that matter, and automation bias, where you over-trust a model's output and under-apply your own judgment. A good habit: before accepting or dismissing any AI-generated suggestion, ask yourself what data likely drove it, and whether your own assessment agrees. Here's how this lecture maps directly into your assignment. You'll identify PHI in a provided fictional patient case, or one of your own if you have it. including the kind that's woven into narrative text rather than sitting in a labeled field. You'll remove or replace it using the do's and don'ts we just covered. You'll write a prompt asking an LLM to summarize, improve documentation, draft education, or identify interventions using only de-identified data. And finally, you'll evaluate that output with the same human-AI collaboration mindset. Verify before you trust. To sum up, know whether you're looking at AI, machine learning, or deep learning. Recognize CDSS, predictive analytics, and NLP in your everyday EHR workflow. Protect PHI before it ever reaches an AI tool. And remember that your clinical assessment is the check every one of these systems depends on. Next up is Unit 1, Assignment 1, Prompt Engineering and PHI Protection, where you put all of this into practice.